What's up, guys? It is I, once again, Yusuf Al-Sanad, and today, guys, I want to talk about and review Angelina Jolie's debut feature film, In the Land of Blood and Honey, which was released in 2011, and it was a film that she produced, directed and written, and wrote actually, but guys, I just got done watching this movie. And I'm very sorry, but I have to let you guys know that this video will be more personal than an actual review because this movie made me really mad. Now, the film, it's great. It's so great in how it's filmed, how it's edited, how the story is told. But there's a reason why this film didn't make much money in the box office, for a very good reason. This film, In the Land of Blood and Honey, takes place during the Bosnian War, which was between 1992 to 1995, and this was said to be the most deadliest, most tragic and horrific event in war, a tragedy that's so great that it's so horrifying that it matches up to World War II and the number of casualties and how it was just horrifying what happened at war. And guys, this movie, it made me so mad because for those of you who don't know, the war in Bosnia was taking place, and there was an internal conflict between both the Bosnians and the Serbians. Now, the Serbians hate the Bosnians because Bosnia is a Muslim country and it consists mostly of the Muslim population. And this was a very complicated situation between both the Serbians and the Bosnians. And guys, when I saw the film, there were moments that I was so mad. I really wanted to I just wanted to break my screen. And to get the plot out of the way before we get into the what's good about the film and why I'm so mad about it. The story is basically about a young Muslim girl named Ayla, and the actress, this is her debut feature film as an actress. Ayla is a young Muslim girl who's also a painter, living happily with her elder sister and her baby boy. And she meets up with a young man she really likes. This young man is a Serbian police officer. She meets up with him at a dance club, and they were having a very good time until the place gets bombed down, Ayla being one of the sole survivors. And Daniel, later in the film, is revealed to be a Serbian officer of the Serbian army, a high-ranking officer, and because of his position and the Serbians and how they are in fear with for the Muslim population, how they are in fear of them taking them over in their country. They have the men and women of the Muslim population in Bosnia separated. The men are shot down. The women, all of them, elderly or young, are taken to the Serbian military base camp, and they're used as workers, but they're also used as sex slaves. They are there to please the Serbian soldiers, basically. And if you guys think that's bad, no, it gets much worse as the film goes on. Trust me, it does. And basically, this film, it's both a political film about the war itself, but also a love story that centers on Ayla and this young man named Daniel. And this is a very complicated situation because Daniel, being the son of the Serbian general who's very passionate and hateful towards the Muslim population of Bosnia because of how they claim, at least from their perspective, that the Muslims started the war in between them and how it was going to erupt this way. But Ayla sees things differently, especially when you hear from their side of the story, because we don't really see that many Muslims in the film. The only ones being Ayla and her sister Leah, I think Leah, that's her name is. But this is a very complicated situation because Ayla and Danielle, as much as they love each other, it's so hard for Danielle to connect with her, especially in the open, because how he is a Serbian, how the Muslims are seen basically as a disease or plague. And if he were to connect with her that way, especially that his father is a Serbian general, it would give a bad name to them, and it would really ruin their image. And Daniel is very conflicted about his position as both a Serbian soldier who never wanted any part of this war. He was forced into it because it's his family's tradition, basically, to be a Serbian officer, killing innocent people because they consider this a political gain. But guys, to be perfectly honest, war, politics, it doesn't matter because no one can justify murder by murder. I don't care who started which war or who's behind it. You can't justify killing someone for your own political gain. You just can't. And what's worse, guys, the UN, the United Nations, they don't do anything about the situation going on in Bosnia. For years that there have been genocide, rape, and mass murder, and they don't do anything about it. It wasn't until years later, after the number of casualties has increased, that the United Nations have taken part in the war and trying to put a stop to it. But guys, I should normally be happy the war's over, but really no. I was mad because it doesn't really matter. The damage has been done because this is just one of many wars fought in history. World War II wasn't the first. World War I wasn't the first. There've always been the division, and there's always been like animosity between different types of races, different type of religions, and people who are seen as an enemy to the other groups of people. And as much as this film is a love story between both Ayla and Danielle, the political aspect of it made me so mad. I couldn't focus on the love story so much because of how I was totally invested in the political aspect of the film involving the Muslims against the Serbians, or the Bosnians to be more specific. God, if you've seen movies like Schindler's List or 12 Years a Slave or The Passion of the Christ, there are controversies behind those movies because of people who take the film in a negative light, and I can understand it perfectly. But for me personally, me being a Muslim and someone who loves human beings and someone who values human life above all else, I was disgusted and I was just sickened by the events that happened in this film. And the reason I'm speaking this way is because this is just from my personal perspective, but as a Muslim and someone who values human life, I can't stand to see people justify their actions, whether because this man or this woman or this child was a Muslim or not, or whatever their belief is. You can't justify killing them because of something you experienced in your life and how you view a group of people as being the enemy because something had happened to you. That's exactly the situation in war. It sickens me that people don't do anything to stop this atrocity. And guys, honestly, this is one of the few films I can't recommend because of how good it is. It's a great film, don't get me wrong. This is a very strong, underrated debut feature film of Angelina Jolie, and I I adore Angelina Jolie. She's one of my favorite actresses, and this being her first film as a director, writer, and producer, she did an excellent job, especially with the cinematography, the editing, and how she was able to bring the best out of the actors who play Ayla and Danielle. But this film, from my personal perspective, it just made me so mad. I can't recommend it to many people. It's the same thing with 12 Years a Slave and Schindler's List and Passion of the Christ, but for me, this was a hell lot more personal. And I can't stand to see people die in film for like a country that they believe they know what's best for the community or the population. It makes me so sick, guys. But Angelina Jolie, that was her intention, to show just how horrible and disgusting this war is, and how all war in general is horrible. There comes a point in time where we have to really look back on the events that happened in history and think, was it all worth it? Because honestly, no. I mean, I don't care who comes out on top. There are no winners in war, guys. And that is what makes me so bitter and hateful, and if you want to use the word pessimist, yes, I don't see the word in a positive light, because is there anything positive right now? Boring for sure in this world, but really, is there anything positive? No. I just can't help but see the world in a negative way, and unless someone proves to me otherwise, I just can't give people excuses, because you cannot excuse these kinds of actions, whether it be rape, murder, or whatever. Guys, this kind of act is unacceptable, unforgivable, and shouldn't be allowed anywhere. I can't recommend this film as from a personal, from a subjective point of view, but objectively speaking, as a film, I would say this is a good film, a very good film. I highly recommend to you all. It's more of a study on the war itself, and there aren't any moments you will enjoy. No moments at all. But it's a very good watch, especially for the performances of these two young actors who play Danielle and Ayla. And but that's all I gotta say, guys. And I'm sorry once again if this video came off as personal, because it really is. And whether or not this war will come to an end, you know, just all wars in general, I don't know, but I just hope that we can look back on ourselves and say, never again, never again. But guys, I am really excited for Angelina Jolie's upcoming film, where she's starring with Brad Pitt again. Now, she has starred with Brad Pitt on Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and she has done another film with him called By the Sea, which I really love. It's my favorite work by her, as well as Unbroken. But this film is by far her most underrated, and I'm looking forward to her fourth film where she's starring with Brad Pitt. And I hope that Brangelina, yeah, I'm calling them Brangelina, can put a big smile on my face. Turn my frown upside down. But guys, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, please like, comment, subscribe if you wish. Until next time, adios amigos, au revoir, and sayonara.